Loving yourself. Simple and easy ways to practice self-love every day. Find your way to self-love by taking just a few moments a day to care for and reconnect with yourself. The easiest way to love yourself is to treat yourself like your own BFF. It might seem like it's easier to love others than to love yourself, but it's tough to build healthy relationships if you don't love yourself first. Quite simply, this means you recognize your own self-worth and live your own life as honestly as you can. Read on to learn some strategies you can start today so you can embark on a journey of loving yourself. Treating yourself with kindness. Let go of negative thought patterns and beliefs about yourself. Negative thoughts often come from outside people whose opinions we value and from whom we seek love and acceptance. Drill down to the core of those negative thoughts and tell yourself a different story. Think about what you would say to a close friend who said those things about themselves. For example, if you forgot to buy trash bags when you got groceries, you might say to yourself, I'm so stupid. How could I forget that? Instead of calling yourself stupid, you might think, oops. Forgot those pesky trash bags. I'll just pick some up next time I go out, no big deal. Don't try to fight negative thoughts, though, they're a part of who you are. Simply drown them out with more positive, affirmative thoughts about yourself. It might feel weird at first, but after a while, it becomes habitual to think that way. Accept your flaws as part of who you are. Everything you've done and everywhere you've been is a part of who you are. You. Self-love isn't about fixing all the bad things about yourself. Instead, accept that they're all parts of the same whole. When you love yourself, you love all of you because you wouldn't have the good without the bad. Focus on your effort rather than the result to control perfectionism. If you expect yourself to be perfect all the time, you'll never be pleased with anything you produce. This can lead to low self-esteem. Instead, make a point to appreciate the work you put into completing a task, rather than looking for flaws in what you produced. Changing your focus from the final product to the effort you put into it will help you appreciate your own good work and take pride in what you do. Avoid stereotypical ideas and images of perfection, such as models in beauty magazines or on social media. Remind yourself that the actual person probably doesn't look like that in real life. Practice gratitude for good things rather than focusing on the negative. It's human nature to see negative things as bigger and more important than positive things. But this also does tremendous damage to your self-esteem. When you find yourself focusing on negative or less favorable events in your life, immediately try to name 3 to 5 things that you can be grateful for. Look for the positive side even when bad things happen to you. For example, if you lose your job, it can be easy to spiral into thinking that you were terrible at your job and no one will ever hire you again. Instead, you might think that now you have the opportunity to find something that's a better fit for you. Speak kindly to yourself. When you call yourself a name, you reduce yourself to a single thing that you don't like. You're not treating yourself as a whole person. If you wouldn't call your best friend these names, don't call yourself those names either. For example, if you lose your job, you might think, I'm such a failure. I'll never amount to anything. Stop. Take a deep breath and be more constructive. Think instead, I lost my job, but I can learn from this experience to find and keep a new job that suits me better. You might also look at yourself in the mirror and think, I'm so ugly. Instead of thinking that, list 3 things that you like about your appearance and focus on those. Each time, challenge yourself to add one more thing to your list. Pull yourself away from assumptions that the worst will happen. This sort of catastrophizing is really bad for your self-esteem because you spiral from a small error to basically believing that everything is doomed. And that's rarely the case. Challenge those thoughts with realistic and logical observations to reframe your conclusion. For example, you might make a small mistake at work and obsess about it to the point that you're convinced you're going to be fired for it, when that's likely not the case at all. Instead of allowing that to happen, tell yourself, I just made a small mistake. I can fix it and let everyone know it won't happen again.